Hello. Hello everyone. Welcome back to another stream. We're doing it. We're doing the speed run. I have done a decent amount of practice. And it's not bad, honestly. The movement isn't that bad. And the route is I've kind of rooted something out. There's a few options, but I think I have something good. The difficult part of this route is going through Chimney Canopy up to Pebbles. I've yet to do a practice run that actually gets past Chimney Canopy. So we'll see if I can oh, actually, hold up. Let me grab something. There we go. Put this over here. We got oops, wrong one. We got our splits. I have plans for industrial and chimney, but nothing past that. We'll see if I can actually complete a run. There is something important to know about this run. There we go. There's something important to know about this run. If you make it to Pebbles, you can save and exit, and it will save both the mark and like extra karma that you get, as well as saving that, like opening the gate to Outer Expanse. So you don't actually need to travel back from Pebbles. So the basic strategy here is to go to Chimney Canopy. Hold on. Grab these. Make it to Chimney Canopy and stay in a shelter. Head up to Pebbles, and then I can save and exit, and I will reset back to Chimney Canopy, where I can head over to Outer Expanse. I don't use karma caching in this route. Probably could grab some extra food. I just stay in a few shelters along the way. There's a decent amount. Like there's a shelter right here. There's a shelter before the gate to industrial. So you can get karma without having to karma cache. I'd rather, you know, if it's possible to avoid, I'd rather do that. How do you get in here? A little bit of extra food, although probably should have been more careful about my stamina. So the start of this run is just getting food, staying in shelters, and then making my way up to Chimney Canopy. I've yet to figure out exactly what to do after that point. Oops. Okay, there goes all of those roll pounces. Like, I have the route figured out, but I've not like practiced it extensively. I don't like that I'm holding onto a spear. Karma caching is where you sleep in a shelter, then you starve in the shelter, and then exit to main menu. Oh. Okay, cost me some stamina. And it basically it increases your karma, but it doesn't, like, you get your food back. You're not gonna be starving anymore. So you can just like repeatedly starve and like exit the game and repeat, and to increase your karma without actually needing to go out and get food. I would like a rock there. Jump to this other platform without having to go down. That lizard has killed me a few times. Scavengers. I have a strategy to avoid them. Oops, sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that. I think no, they're not dead. That is minus rep. Hopefully I don't deal with many scavengers this run. So this is an area where I get a lot of food. Honestly, I didn't even need the lantern anymore. Oops. A lot of the time, it feels like the best movement to do is just to walk normally. Nothing fancy. You don't risk losing stamina. Okay, that was unoptimal. And there goes my stamina. I thought that sliding like that would be better. Don't take the speedrun as a movement guide for Gourmand, because I have yet to figure it out myself. I've also not really played Gourmand long enough to get familiar with like exactly how much stamina I have. Maybe there's a strategy that I'm not aware of, but it feels like sometimes you just have to run out of stamina and wait to recover. Although it is probably better to do less and like wait around a bit to recover stamina, even if you don't get tired. Because it's better to wait for a few seconds to recover normally than to get tired and then have to wait for the whole like 4 seconds to recover. This is actually a really good time. I know that it's doesn't look like that on the splits, but that's actually a decent amount faster than any of my other practice attempts so far, because on the first run that I did with splits, I didn't stay in the shelter in Chimney. I'm probably never going to beat that time. So I've decided that it's better to stay in that shelter early on. So you don't have to, like, because there's plenty of food and shaded. Oh, come on. And I'm tired. This room is really nice. I only did 2 of those jumps and it totally ran out. I ran up all my stamina, so. You can use wall pounces to climb up these kinds of areas a lot faster, although I'm not consistent enough at it yet. There's a vulture. Oh man. Okay, I really don't know what to do in this situation. Vulture's up top, lizards on the bottom. Oh, that's its den. Oh, okay, so I'm just dead. Actually a little bit happy to see Vulture there, because if I can get a mask that early, then the rest of Chimney and the wall will be a lot easier. But unfortunately, I've yet to figure out a consistent way to get a Vulture mask. It's better to jump again there to keep that speed going. Oh, come on. Find a rock somewhere here. I mean, I don't need to. You don't technically need a lantern in any of these early areas, but I'd rather have a lantern so that I can just ignore spiders. There's one. But I don't think you need a lantern for any other part of the run. Okay. That's a big time loss. Well, not really, but kind of. Probably what I dislike most about Gourmand. Every movement that you make is a opportunity for like a 4-second time loss. Like, oh, I accidentally jumped an extra time. Now I have to sit here and wait for my stamina to recover. Karma caching would probably make this whole thing a lot faster. You wouldn't have to get food, and you could just like keep moving along with that and just stay in shelters all the time. Okay, I've yet to figure out a good place to jump to land in here on this platform consistently. Well, I'm also not yet very consistent at those kind of jumps. Getting bat flies there to make a meal. It's probably faster than trying to get food just from like blue fruit. There's a scavenger. And a mole lizard is high up. Oh. Hey. Yeah, you just killed your own. Killed another scavenger trying to hit me. Oh, wait. Probably lose time trying to go back and grab these like rocks and stuff. Should I climb faster? This would not be a problem for any slugette that can fast bowl climb, but it's almost a problem for Gourmand. In that kind of situation right there is exactly why Chimney Canopy is so difficult. A lot of areas where you're just climbing up poles, and there's plenty of white lizards and blue lizards that are faster than you when climbing poles. And honestly, I've seen pink lizards a lot faster than that, so. Oh, come on. That's an easier way to do that. Sorry about that. This is gonna be the whole stream. I said I had yet to get past Chimney Canopy, but I think it might be even earlier than that. People like to point at that kind of movement and say, look, Gourmand is fast. No, I don't think so. In a handful of situations where you can do movement like that, there's many times more situations where you just have to walk normally or run out of stamina or climb poles. There's nothing that Gourmand can do to climb poles any faster. Thank you. I feel like a situation like that would be a little bit more dangerous while holding without a lantern. Because coalescipedes are much more likely to attack if in darkness. I don't know why I always grab spears. They're not a great idea as Gourmand. Hello. Because you can't use them for throw boosting without getting tired. So you're pretty much just looking for rocks, and even then they're not great for stamina. That's not far enough. Maybe I should just try to land on that pole. Oh, hello. Yeah, I'm never gonna do that jump. Well, I might have made it if I didn't run out of stamina. Something really annoying about bat flies is that like picking up any other item takes priority over them. So it's annoying as Gourmand when you're trying to pick up multiple items to eat at once. So you end up dropping the bat fly. At least while you're tired, you can still move decently fast with that kind of movement. But still, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth waiting to recover your stamina to do something like an extended slide instead of just roll pounces. Good thing they left immediately, although there's more scavengers. Okay, I'm kind of surprised I didn't tire myself out there. Okay, don't fall down there. Gonna have to deal with this last pink lizard. So they don't just fall out of the sky. Okay, that was actually not a great jump. I think it's worth. Probably not. Honestly, just having a meter, stamina meter, would help so much. Because you could know when exactly to stop moving before you tire yourself out. Because it's very... It's not like gradual, right? If you do one extra jump to tire yourself out, it's still gonna take the full like 4 seconds to recover. Whereas if you do like 10 jumps after you get tired, it's still gonna take 4 seconds to recover. Always scared to do that kind of movement. I'm immediately tired. Oh yeah, I don't need the lantern. I should probably drop it a lot earlier. Because there's only like... Most of the later rooms in Shaded are just filled with lantern mice. Where I don't even need a lantern. I mean, I could probably navigate all of Shaded without the light. It's just for spiders mostly. Yeah, that was actually faster. Even though I did stay in that shelter. So I guess maybe I'll try to play really careful. I mean, I always say that and then proceed to not play careful. But if I actually want to complete a run within the next decade, I'll have to do that. Oh, scavengers. Stop. Okay, they didn't throw any spears though. Great. This strategy does involve getting the popcorn plant before going to chimney canopy. Because I need 4 karma before to get through the gate to the wall. This is just a vulture RNG check. Okay, that was unnecessarily risky. I have messed up that jump many times. Okay, I guess we aren't going just yet. I kind of want a vulture to show up here. If I could get a mask from it. There's also a vulture grub. And chimney canopy. I want this rock. Okay, that was a mistake. I don't know, it's hard to say what's a mistake or not. Like, I accidentally did 2 more jumps than I should have. That's a time loss. But I don't know. I don't know how to avoid that other than just sitting around and doing less. So there's a vulture grub, right? I might try to get a vulture mask. Just to make it through chimney and the wall a lot easier. Alright, split. You can also use wall pounces in this room. Let's try, right? Well, that's not successful. Another problem I have with Gourmand, you can't stunlock creatures. Even though your spear does a lot of damage, vultures don't care at all. It's just gonna be a Gourmand complaining stream. Hey, hello? Okay, that was just awful. I think it's just gonna run away now. I don't have any. Yeah, this won't work. Forget vulture mask. I tried to land on him. I just totally phased through him. So now the hardest part of the run, in my opinion, I should go from here up to the wall, up to pebbles in this cycle. Actually, no. Have I made a mistake? I don't know. I need to get to so I'll stay in the wall shelter next, just so that I can reset there and be closer to Sky Islands, which is where I will head next. There's a lot of different routes to take to get to Outer Expanse, and I'll be taking the Sky Islands farm raise route, which I really didn't want to do to avoid messing with deer, but I think I need to try it out at least once. They really get rid of the rock. Oh, great. See, I really don't know what you're supposed to do there. I mean, I usually... Okay, well, there's there's the run. Just one lizard. But when you run out of stamina, you just can't fight back at all. And since the only way I had to get out of there was by climbing poles, I couldn't do that either. You climb poles way too slowly. I guess I could have just left the room, but then that other lizard showed up. Hello? Any rocks? Any rocks at all? Need to remember that I don't need to pick up anything there. I guess I shouldn't have picked up the spear. because I couldn't really use that effectively without tiring myself out. So I keep feeling like you should never use spears in a speedrun for Gourmand. It just never makes sense to use a spear. You'll throw the spear, and then you have to wait to recover. You can't use the throw boost at all. So just ignore spears. Honestly, that's the strategy. Just pretend spears don't exist. Always use rocks. And even then, throwing rocks is still not great for stamina. Goodbye, Lantern. Oh, really? Goodbye, Lantern. Okay, well, we get to see what it looks like to not use a Lantern here. There's no rocks here, so no. Wow, you just jumped into that. And you pick up 2 molds instead of the bat and the mold. Oh, jumped too much. I don't know, just a stamina meter would be nice. Like, how much can I do before I get penalized? Sorry if I'm being too negative about this. I mean, I did choose to do to play Gourmand this stream, but if you're ever wondering why I don't like Gourmand, oh, I messed up. This is a good explanation of why. Okay, gotta wait. See, I would have thought that this pink lizard would be fast enough to catch me on this pull. I messed up the jumps there. Maybe it's better. Maybe I should be using rolls more often. Okay, we are going this way. Instead of skip some of the rooms with more food in them. I would like to see a speedrun of this Slug Cat. That's actually good. If someone ever wants to figure out how to actually play this character. Because this is not that speedrun. And I mean, I hope it isn't. It might be. There might be no better way to play Gourmand. Someone could figure something out about this character that I have yet to understand. I think the crafting mechanic isn't really the main appeal of Gourmand. I mean, crafting can sometimes help you out, but it's not really something that you... Like, you can craft some unique items, like singularity bombs. And sometimes you can use it to give yourself a slight advantage, like combining bubble fruit together to make... turning one of them into a jellyfish to eat them together as a meal. Stuff like that, but that's only useful once you learn all the crafting recipes, which is something that new players are probably going to do. Most people aren't going to do their first time playing Gourmand. So like, unless you learn all the crafting recipes, they're not going to be useful. The main gimmick, the main like strength of Gourmand is, well, these slides are a big reason. But they're mostly their combat mechanics. They can split. Thank you. The light split doesn't really matter. But it's mostly their combat mechanics. Being able to fall on creatures, sliding into creatures, rolling into creatures. Their spear throw does a lot of damage. But still, I think a lot of they're still like held back by stamina. I got tired there. I don't know if that was the reason I... See, if I get released here, it's a time save, because this lizard brought me all the way over here. So green lizard, if you want to save me. If you want to do anything at all. The split doesn't matter anyway. There's definitely better ways I could have dealt with that lizard, but I didn't choose the right one. I had a perfect opportunity to throw a spear at them if I didn't want to get tired out for I don't know. I keep bringing that up. Yeah, their gimmicks are, I feel like they're still less interesting than the other slug cats. Like the Saint, Artificer, and Rivulet have crazy mobility. Gourmand can do this, but so can Rivulet. Artificer can, like, I don't know. And they're not only like more important nor more useful movement abilities, but they're more consistent. I mean, Artificer does have a cooldown on their explosion jumps, but while you're waiting for the cooldown on that, you still have like Hunter movement, which is really good. Oh, great. And even with your combat abilities, I feel like the stamina is still very limiting. Like every time you want to land on a creature from above, you have to climb up a pole, probably. And if you're on low stamina, you just can't climb poles. It's so slow. And by the time you climb to the top, the creatures that you're trying to land on is probably like already moved to a different room. And using slides or rolls for damage, I just feel like it's not very consistent. Like any other slug cat can just throw a bunch of spears, right? And you can only do that in like flat terrain. You can't if there's like too much change in the elevation. It looks like that works. Yeah, I really like Saint too, for pretty much that exact reason. Less focus on... Okay, I do that every single time. Same with Rivulet, right? I mean, Rivulet can still throw spears, but there's just less of a reason to care about like combat when you can avoid everything so easily. The same is not the case for Gourmand, except their combat abilities also kind of go against him. Like, yeah, you can throw a spear that does a lot of damage, but then you're tired out, and so you struggled with dealing with creatures that don't die instantly to that spear throw, or that or multiple creatures at once. So every time you bring up some strength that Gourmand has, any other slug I can just like, you just use spears, right? Just spam spears, and I need to get through here. And like Hunter, I think Hunter is still like one of the best slugcats in terms of combat, because you can hold on to 2 spears at once, so you can always be spamming 2 spears into a creature, which is like crazy DPS, way higher than Gourmand with their, even though they have a strong like singular spear throw. Please don't hurt me. I can't throw a boost here. Okay. Actually, I think I am resistant to spears when I'm rolling. One thing that is really nice about Gourmand is that you very rarely die to creatures. Like if a lizard bites you, there's a random chance that it kills you, but not for Gourmand. Gourmand just always, oh, you have to fall all the way down there. I guess it doesn't matter, I'm gonna get the popcorn plant anyway. But not having like RNG when creatures bite you, it's really nice. Because you can always just like counterattack with a rock throw or spear throw to release yourself. Unless you're at low stamina, then it doesn't really work. And that's the case for like everything about Gourmand, unless you're at low stamina, right? But I'm still doing this speedrun, so I just gotta also don't need lantern. So I just gotta work past his downsides and try to make this work anyway. I got tired. I'm not exactly sure what drains stamina or what doesn't, you know? Seems like, you know, I can climb poles infinitely without running out of stamina, but if I'm already low on stamina, then climbing poles is enough. Try to remember to split this time. I'm actually way ahead on time. Yeah, what's up with that? I can never really feel how fast a run is going. I just look at the timer and sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse. Maybe I should just be rolling a lot more often. That's unfortunate. Okay, they're on the other side. As long as they don't get over here too quickly. Yeah, I kind of feel the same about Artie. I really like the mobility. Well, actually, I kind of feel mixed about the ability. Okay, of course I get tired right now. As long as it doesn't reach in here. Okay, that's convenient. But their double jump is actually kind kind of feel mixed about it because it's really good, obviously, but it's so good that you kind of have no reason to do anything else. The answer to every time you want to move somewhere, you just use the double jump, right? There's no strategy in terms of what kind of movement you do. I accidentally threw my spear first. Because usually you're using all sorts of movement mechanics like slides and rolls and like extended sides, throw boosts. But for Artificer, the answer is always double jump, right? The explosive jump is always the best option. And it's a fairly simple option. Like you just jump, right? Sometimes you jump like diagonally up and sometimes you jump just horizontally. I guess that's like the most variation to it. And their maul ability, it's interesting. It can be helpful against some creatures, but I feel like most of the time it's just a distraction. And also the way you grab creatures, like even if you don't want to, that can be really annoying. Like when I just want to grab the spear and get and throw it because spears will always do more damage. I accidentally grab onto them and it takes a while to let go of them. And if I just maul them, then they'll be released from their stun earlier. Heck, 200 hours on Rain World, haven't finished Survivor yet. Well, that's a lot of experience. Like, you don't have to go for the objectives if you just want to explore the world and get more comfortable with the movement. See if I can actually do this wall pounce here. That's pretty good. Oh, Vulture. Kind of want to try to... Okay, they always just end up escaping the moment I throw a spear, so don't even bother with fighting vultures. I don't know how I got a mask the first... On one of my practice attempts, I got a vulture mask really early. I don't know how I did that. Don't even bother. Revisit was a lot of fun. Probably one of my... Well, until some part of their campaign, but when I first played Revisit, I didn't even go for the iterators. I just kind of wandered around the world and got echoes. And that was a lot of fun. I probably preferred that over doing their campaign, just running around. Hello, Badfly. Sometimes, when you're recovering your stamina, it's a good time to eat food. Also, I think the short cycles of Revisit is actually a good thing. Kind of encourages you to move quickly and don't focus too much on stuff that doesn't matter. It makes you feel like you're always speedrunning, and I'm a fan of that, of course. Oh, hello, White Lizard. They didn't go into the pipe. There's multiple of them. Oh, tired. And also it gets rid of any like doubts about which like shelters you should stay in. You know that always just stay in the next shelter that you get to. That feels like it's always the good option. Because sometimes, you know, you get to a shelter and you have like plenty of time left in the cycle, so you don't know if you should stay in the shelter or if you should just like keep going with the extra time that you have. That's especially the case as the hunter, because you want to try to make the most of your cycles. Oh, okay, I did not mean to totally miss that platform. I don't know how I jumped that far. Oh, Vulture. That Vulture was gonna show up. Then I decided not to, for some reason. But everything, oh, stamina. All the good things I have to say about Rivulet is just ignoring like 5 pebbles. That's like one of my least parts of all of Downpour. It's one of those areas that I wanted to optimize just to avoid like spending too much time in that area. And also why I haven't run their story ending in speedruns. I've always just done Pilgrimage instead, which completely like avoids going to the iterators. I much prefer that kind of gameplay over the rot, because you know Rivulet has so much mobility, but the rot has like such limited space and so many like threats that you can't really take advantage of your movement without running into something that might kill you. Gonna throw something here to be safe. Oh, nice time to run out of stamina. Okay, first time I've made it to the wall in one of these runs. Pretty much everything drains your stamina. Sometimes it's a lot more noticeable. Because sometimes you can lose stamina from just walking. Or like become tired from just walking, but it's not enough to on its own. If you jump a lot and then you keep walking, you might run out, you might tire yourself out. That's a drop weight. But I found that the biggest like things that add to that are bad for your stamina, excuse me. The biggest thing is like jumps and like pounces. So if you're like sliding or rolling and you do a jump, then it's pretty bad for your stamina. Sometimes it feels better to not jump out of things that you would normally. Because I'm used to jumping out of like every single roll that I do, but it might not be a good idea as Gourmand. There's always the lizard that falls off of this area. Great. Also, this is the... I don't know if I've gone up the wall without a vulture mask as Gourmand, but hopefully it's not too bad. The cycle is kind of close to running out, so if that's really a problem, I could just wait for the cycle to end. And all the, like, the... It's mostly the white lizards around the end that I'm worried about. Because the... Okay, I can't find a spear. The orange lizards are pretty easy to bypass. They're not really dangerous. But the white lizards, I have no choice but to go through that area where all the lizards like to clump up. So if I can just wait for the rain, that would be nice. But I have a feeling that I'm not going to take that long to get there. Also, whenever you wall jump, you just need to know that you're going to run out of stamina by the end. Don't even try to, like, save it. So here's the skip. If you didn't know about this, you can throw a spear here and just climb up this part. Unless you're tired, in which case you can't do anything. And yeah, you can just skip the whole area with the orange lizards. Yeah, droplegs can be real annoying sometimes, but with enough experience, you'll learn which areas they like to hang out around. and like where to look out for them. Because in some regions, right, you're not gonna run into any. You're just gonna hang out there. In some areas, you're not gonna run into any drop wigs at all. Okay, I'm not really a fan of this. This guy's just camping me out. How much time's left in this cycle? Like 2 minutes? Can I afford to wait that long? Whoops. I mean, if he just wants to sit there and take an up throw. Hopefully they're injured enough to just leave me alone. That actually kill them. Yeah, I mean, you can use a lot of spears to climb like any wall if you want. Oh, that blue lizard got that drop wig that it fell down for. So I don't see any white lizards, which probably means that they're hiding pretty good. Or that they're higher up, like right there. I think it's late enough in the cycle for them to start running away. Actually, I don't need to get food here. Yeah, food is not a concern at all. Excuse me. Okay, I guess we're just going around. I probably should have done that from the beginning. I mean, if you're referring to coalesce peats, then you're completely correct. Because they definitely group up, and whether they run away from stuff or like attack, it depends on how many are grouped up. But regular spiders, I mean, they're not very regular. They're pretty large, depending on the size of the slug cat, of course. But they do like to hang out together. And whenever you find one spider, there's probably many more. Just note that if you're holding onto a lantern or if you have a neuron light, spiders are much less likely to be aggro towards you. And also, if you stick around the top of the region instead of going through the bottom areas where there tends to be more spiders. I don't know, I think the top route's a lot easier. Because there's so many coalescepedes that if you go the bottom route, that it, oh, speaking of spiders. Whoops, I keep hitting the microphone. Alright, weird. It's loud. The best strategy that I have for dealing with small spiders is to just throw a bunch of rocks. Try to clump up or like gather up as many rocks as you can and just throw them. Rapid fire. Because eventually it's going to hit some of the spiders. Okay, nice lag spike. Hello? That was pretty good. I knew it. I just one jump away and I would get tired. Well, I guess we're not doing that, and I'm tired. Luckily, I think this is the last. Well, like I'm past most of the worst parts of the run. And honestly, the large spiders, except for red spitter spiders, but the regular wolf spiders, they aren't usually that aggressive. Unless you're in a very dark area without a light, like in the bottom of shaded, they usually just completely ignore you. So you can kind of just walk straight past them. And if they do grab onto you, they won't even attack. The only thing that's dangerous is if there's a pretty big telegraph for it, where their fangs kind of glow and they hiss at you. That's when they're actually dangerous and can attack you. But if they just grab onto you, they actually like can't hurt you at all. And you can just hit them with a rock. They get stunned by rocks really easily, and spears always one-shot them, regardless of what slughead you're playing. Except for tired Gourmand, probably. Okay, nice movement there. You can throw a spear here. You gain quite a lot more speed, but I find that you usually kind of go a bit off center and you hit one of the walls before you can make it all the way to the end. Hello, Pebbles. So here's the trick. Just save and exit. This counts as open, or this does open up the... Did I? Oh shoot, I might be in the wrong shelter. Yes. I'm in the wrong shelter. Well, you know what? We're changing up the strategy. I said I was gonna go through Sky Islands, but I forgot to stay in one of the shelters further up in Chimney Canopy, so we're gonna go the other route instead. Through Industrial. He didn't kill me. He kind of did something to my brain. It lets you understand their language, which is why I have the little square hovering above my head. It also increased my karma level, which is why it's a circle now. It does usually go higher than that, but since I exited out, that counts as a death, so my karma got lowered. So this strategy that I do, I don't think it's possible to do in a single cycle. I've gotten very, very close where it was like raining in the final room before the shelter. But I didn't need to do that, so I'll just stay in a shelter before I get to Subterranean, or maybe in the Subterranean, because I find that it's usually somewhere in Infiltration where it starts raining, if I try to get there from here. Okay, I really should not be aggroing this red lizard. They aren't going to move out of the way. Can you just come over here? Thank you. That blue lizard is also equally scared of this red lizard. Although now I have to worry about the blue lizard falling on my head, as they like to do. One of them doesn't come through this pipe behind me. Alright, I need to go this way. little concerned of where that... Oh, that's the wrong pipe. I don't very rarely go through this room. I think I can just climb up. Yeah. So I'm going to go through pipe yard. Actually, I'm not going to go through pipe yard. I forgot. I keep forgetting the route that I'm actually going to take. Alright, I mean, I've made so many detours, I'm gonna have to stay in like an extra shelter. I've done a decent amount of runs going through pipe yard, and I've also done a decent amount of runs going through drainage system, and I think the drainage route is faster. Probably isn't faster if you also accidentally go up there. We're gonna go through drainage, that's the final route. Don't need to go that high. And now my splits are going to be incorrect because taking a different route in Sky Islands. But they also kind of line up. Like there's the same number of regions, so I'm just going to split anyway. Because it's going to be farm raised and then subterranean, and I'm going to go to drainage and then subterranean, so it still lines up. Even though this is the same movement that you take on the Pebbles % route, I'm not familiar with it as Gourmand because slides are a lot different. Sorry about that. Uh-oh. I need to get out of here. They don't seem too interested though. Sorry about that, loser. I don't know how much food I have, but I might as well grab this. It's very easy to accidentally kill stuff as Gourmand. Especially scavengers. I like to slide past scavengers since you kind of go under their legs. You can't do that as Gourmand. Definitely don't slide into creatures that you don't want to kill. So yep, this is definitely farm raise. The difference between this route and the Sky Islands route is that you pretty much end off right. I should be in this route. Once you get through farm raise, you're pretty much right next to Outer Expanse. While this route brings you to filtration system. So it still takes quite a while to get up to Outer Expanse. I really appreciate green lizards for not caring about you at all. Pink lizards, however, are always kind of awful. Thank you. Getting out of the way. I think having friendly fire off is supposed to disable... Ooh, that's not much time left. Having friendly fire off is supposed to disable kills from Gourmand. But there used to be a lot of different ways to kill other players in co-op, like with Artificer's bombs, or actually just Artificer in general had a lot of ways to kill other slug cats. I feel like the like friendly fire option kind of tells you how Jolly Co-op originated from a mod. I kind of feel like if co-op was just a part of the game from the beginning by the original developers, there wouldn't be a friendly fire option. Well, there wouldn't be an option to change it, but it would be like on by default. Because that's how Rain World is. You know, it's kind of like a bit more realistic. Like scavengers kill each other all the time. On accident. Maybe intentionally. I mean, we don't really know what's going on in their society. But I feel like official Rain World co-op would like not care if you speared each other. It's funny how in these areas stamina is not really a problem at all, despite all the swimming and like pipe movements. Like I never worried about running out of stamina in these areas until I'm like wall jumping around. Like once I get to here, stamina is going to be a problem. But Gourmand actually has a greater lung capacity than Survivor. I don't know how they compared to Hunter, but like they're pretty good at swimming. This area is very easy to die to as the monk if you don't have the remix option that extends their breath time. Like I didn't even get close to drowning there. That's one of the more difficult swimming sections in drainage. Actually, I don't even like care about being tired here. These jumps don't really require you to be high stamina. Yeah, I usually avoid killing scavengers when I'm just, you know, most of the time I play this game. So like, part of the reason I don't really like Artificer campaign, well, for like many different reasons, but having to deal with scavengers all the time is one of those reasons. But also it's kind of annoying in every other game mode, in expeditions, and like Jolly Co-op, or if you're like playing Hunter's campaign as Artificer, you are still aggro against scavengers and you can't change it. It's not just unique to their campaign, but I wish it was, because you know, I understand the importance of like fighting scavengers in their campaign, but kind of wish it wasn't a thing for playing in other game modes. Also, I have to navigate this whole area in the dark. Means I have a feeling this is this is the not gonna end well. I almost got through. I almost escaped. Oh, okay, that was stupid. I accidentally pressed spacebar because I thought I was released, so I tried to jump, but spacebar is also the button that exits out. I'm not gonna restart the run. I've already made it this far. But I forgot that the reason I kept the lantern in my previous runs is because I went through filtration, but I meant to go to Sky Islands in this run, so I was like, oh, I don't need a lantern. I don't know why every single mole lizard in the whole region was in that one room though, or how I fell down in the first place. That was the first mistake, honestly. So yeah, this is no longer a good run, but whatever. I think they all heard me fall down, so they're like, they wanted to check it out. There was already like a decent amount in that room. But in that like is really bad falling down there. There's nowhere to escape. No like poles to climb up. Just one pipe, one tunnel, like leaving out, and that tunnel was filled with lizards. Oh, now I get tired? Yeah, that can be annoying sometimes, those rooms with a lot of tunnels where you kind of get stuck. If there's a creature in the way, there's nothing you can do about it. I really don't like any of those situations. Like that one room in Industrial, that kind of leads into the gate to Chimney. One that goes in that direction. There's a like a tunnel that you have to go through, and it's really annoying. Because if you're halfway through the tunnel and a lizard shows up on the other side, there's nothing you can do about it. They move faster than you in tunnels, so you're just dead. Just like hope that doesn't happen. I can't imagine taming a mole lizard because they always appear in groups. And they can't even see you. Like, how would they know to follow you? It doesn't really make sense. Maybe they're easy to tame. I haven't tried. I just know that like green lizards are super easy. You just give them a single piece of food and they're... You know what? I'm gonna try something here. That's a... I wanted to try to get a lantern here. I didn't know that was an active pain cone. Oh, they're not easy to tame. Well, as long as I don't run into any mole lizards. I sure do love seeing what I'm doing. So that's all I had to do last time. I don't know how I messed that up. Yeah, I can just go through that pipe. This is an area I'm a little bit scared of. A lot of not great creatures in between here and the gate to Outer Expanse. And I haven't found any spears yet, although I don't know if getting spears... Actually, I do need a spear to even get up there. So we'll need to look for one of those. That's a drop wig. They're not even dead. I'm surprised sliding even does damage when you're tired. Excuse me. Still looking for a spear. Just a single one. Okay, I don't even know if I'll be able to make it to the... Is that a red centipede? Can I climb up here? Scavenger, you want to help me out here? Oh, he's really scared. Kelp? I think I'm still dead from this. Just a lot of death there. Alright, so a few changes. Whoops. Gotta actually do a real restart. A few changes to the strategy. I need to hold on to the lantern. And I don't need to... Well, I mean, pretty much the same thing that I did last time, but I don't need to shelter in chimney. Well, ideally, I would... Yeah, there's a few changes. Ideally, I'd get enough karma for even entering chimney canopy. Oh yeah, I really wanted to pick up that rock. The strategy, stop playing Gourmand. That's a great idea. I would love to do that, but fortunately, I have already created a thumbnail and title for this stream. You know what? Actually, maybe I should hold on to these to create a meal for the next shelter. But it also means I have to go to a few rooms in the darkness before I can make a lantern. This looks like a lot of pain. It is. I don't like playing Gourmand. I just wanted to complete at least one speedrun, just to have a time. And also because Gourmand is a underplayed category. I mean, understandably. But I think that messed up with the timing. I need to restart so that I start the timer at the same time. Spoilers, don't look at that. Yeah, the scavenger killed me. Any rocks? Any rocks anywhere? Yeah, I'm totally fine with going through shaded without a lantern. Not, yeah, filtration's a lot worse. Because there's a lot of like, you need to kind of memorize all the positions of the tunnels and pipes. And also it's very easy for creatures to kind of hide in the darkness, like moles or spiders. Which is also the case for shaded, I suppose. Also, I guess I could make a lantern in that room and store it in my stomach. And then carry these. But I do want to make a... Oh, great. I do want to make a lantern before leaving shaded. Just so that I have it for when I go to filtration. Because my original plan didn't even involve filtration at all, but I might as well just go there again because I'm already familiar with the route. You know what? Let's just shelter again. I didn't think that'd give you enough food. But if I can get karma, yeah, I might as well stick around here. Kind of similar to if I were to just karma cache there. Also, a decent amount of rooms in shaded aren't actually that dark because they're filled with lantern mice. First try that first time that I actually pulled that off. I do want to go and grab that bat fly up here. But I usually don't get that jump as far as that. I'm tired. I'm a fan of memory crypts. I think it's really that bad to wait around for the mirror birds. And it's a pretty short region. The real problem with memory crypts is that you end up going to the leg and the whole like exterior route, which I do not like compared. I'm not a fan of that route compared to. Excuse me. Why'd that take so long? Just one lizard. Okay, this is dangerous. Okay, that was just my mistake. Oh. I can't climb this pole though to get away. Yeah, there we go. Chance that an injured lizard will just drop you. Although I don't know why they're still chasing after me if they're injured. A little bit of a time loss, but I don't really care. I don't really care about time losses. As long as I don't die, I'm fine with the run. And I don't really mind any death after some point. But like too many of them is still bad. I think I actually no. There's plenty of food elsewhere. There we go. Like right here. Yeah, there's like rarely a reason to actually want to go that route. It's just longer and harder than going up the wall. And you have to go through the entire like 5 Pebbles region, which can be a bit slow if you're not familiar with zero-G movements. Also, there's a spider over here, and now I'm tired. No moving for me. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. The spider just happened to be there. Oh yeah, the split is quite far behind some of the other attempts. Well, not usually movement isn't the problem, that isn't what slows you down, it's like creature RNG. If there's a lizard in the way, then you're just slower. Oh, actually, that would be a mistake to stay in that shelter. I forgot that right, I did spend some extra time in the shelter earlier in Shaded. I need to stay in the shelter in the one before the gate to Chimney. I feel like Miros birds actually might not like heat up as much when running, because most of the energy that they get, or don't hit me, because most of their like energy that they put into their movement is through like mechanical legs. So it's probably like I mean, I have no idea how those work either, if they're like have a battery in them somehow. I mean, based on the way the rain looks in the leg, like the electrical storm, that might be what recharges them. So they use like that power to move themselves with their like mechanical legs. So it actually isn't like as tiring for them. Vulture. It's a king vulture. I'm leaving. Well, actually, it's still just a regular vulture, but I'm still leaving. Yeah, that I couldn't do anything about that. I was stuck in that tunnel. Either died to... Oh, we're good. Although I still have to deal with this king vulture. I love sitting around waiting. I mean, the moment I go back up there, the king vulture's just gonna come back down. Oh, you're not a king vulture. May I have your mask? I'd really like to have a vulture mask. Anyway, that's a huge time loss just waiting for those guys to pass. But that's just how Ranworld is sometimes. You're not dead? Yeah, now they're dead, but I'm not gonna get to go eat it. Yeah, they're not, I don't think they're fully mechanical either. But that's like most of the effort that they put into like moving around. It's through the... Okay, what is happening? Well, I'm dead. No, I'm not. But I actually don't need food. I really shouldn't have done any of that. I don't actually need to get that popcorn plant or a vulture. This isn't actually a speed run. It's just it's a slow run. A lot of creatures in Rand World are purpose organisms. They have some kind of like they're not like fully biological. Like I mean, I don't know how king vultures get their like laser sights and harpoons. I don't think scions are though, and they're definitely like purpose organisms. But that just seems like some kind of like pressurized gas that they're releasing to propel themselves. Same with vultures. Now the true challenge, getting all the way up the chimney canopy. Single cycle. I mean, that's not really the challenge. The challenge is dying to like hundreds of lizards. The weird circle thing. Yeah, I really know what you're talking about. We don't have to deal with this pink lizard. Or a lizard in this room. That'd be pretty bad. Sometimes the game is nice. Sometimes. I mean, I think there's already a decent amount of ambush predators, like eel lizards, white lizards, dropwigs, stowaways. Problem is that adding too many of them would make the game just a lot more annoying. Creatures that pop out of nowhere and kill you when you don't know that they're there. They make sense from like an ecosystem standpoint, but not really from a gameplay standpoint, which is, I mean, not something that Rand World has always taken like considered important. But I mean, there's no reason to add like extra things that would make it feel worse. Like the existence of some ambush predators adds to that. I don't know. I think there's already enough of them. Oh, I guess pole plants kind of count. They're weird, but you know, you're not expecting it when they get you. This will be fun. What do you say is the worst lizard? Worst lizard? Worst lizard. I don't know. Maybe orange lizards. Just because they're overused in the Rivulet and Saints campaign. I feel like those campaigns were in such different environments. It was a good opportunity to add some completely unique creatures, but instead they just spammed orange lizards everywhere, and it really got like made them feel less unique, because in the Survivors and like Hunters campaign, they only show up in a handful of regions, right? That like orange lizards feel kind of special because of that. I'm gonna try to kill this king vulture, but then like by the time you get to rivulets campaign, they're just everywhere, and they don't feel special anymore. In a survival standpoint, like what's like worse at like surviving in the ecosystem? I don't know. Oh, I got the mask. Is it dead? Peak Gourmand gameplay, just waiting for stamina to refill. I probably didn't need to do that actually. So I'm not gonna eat it. Is that really a time save to the wall? Or no, is that just because it's better than the time lost last time? I don't know, I feel like the environment has changed so much in the Rivulets and Saints campaign that it makes sense for some other creature to show up instead of one that was already like doing just fine in the previous environment. It can make sense if like some kind of creature from outside of the area around 5 Pebbles, like some kind of creature, because you know it's just the iterators that's providing heat. Like the world is already in kind of an ice age sort of, so most of the world is like very cold and snowy. So it makes sense that there were creatures that kind of evolved to deal with that, or evolved in a very loose sense, because who knows how it works in Rain World. But creatures that have adapted to the cold outside of the iterators, and then once the iterators collapse, you know, those creatures kind of move in to an area that was previously they were not like adapted to, which would drive out the creatures that already existed here, like all the orange lizards and whatever. Although it also kind of makes sense that orange lizards would be the most like common type of lizard if they just happen to be also fit for a colder environment. Like it's easier for a creature that's already in this ecosystem that's like adapted to a new condition to like expand, rather than like some other creature showing up that's like not suited to this environment. Oh, great. I'm tired. Like the orange lizards in this area on the wall, they might be the only orange lizards that you run into in the entirety of the Survivors campaign. If you never go to Sky Islands, you might go up here and see them, and that's it. That's all that you see of orange lizards. But then you get to the Saints campaign, and there's really like multiple groups of them in every single region. And it's like pretty rare for there to be like more than 2 groups of orange lizards in a single region. I guess like the wall and the underhang kind of count as one region, right? But I always consider them separate, considering that you don't need to go to both of them to get to 5 Pebbles, unless you take the intended route. Excuse me. I love how much lizards completely fail to recognize that you're just a slug cat, even if you're right in front of their face. Like, it makes sense, like, from a glance, from the distance, they would think, oh, that's a vulture. I see the mask, right? But if they're, like, right in front of you, like, it really seems like they're a... Oh, I'm tired. Like, you would recognize them as a slug cat instead of a vulture. Be a little hard to tell when you recover with the mask on, because you usually can tell by looking at your eyes. If the Gourmand's eyes are closed, then you're tired. Most creatures like to stick around their dens. Some of them, like the lizards, really like to explore. They might go quite far away, but horned lizards are more likely to stay around one area. And also, there's some rooms, or I think all rooms have a value that kind of determines how much a creature wants to be in that room. It got dark very fast. So usually the rooms outside of the region around like where the orange lizards are will be like less favorable by the lizards. So if they do try to leave, they're not gonna like being in that room, and they'll just go straight back out. Excuse me. Okay. Usually don't have a problem with spiders, but I guess it is getting kind of dark. Favorite slug cat without the context of their unique campaign? Probably Saint. I just really like their movement. Saint or Rivulet. Saint is probably my favorite slug cat overall because I still like their campaign. Unlike most of the other slug cats where there's some kind of thing about their campaign that I don't like as much. Except for Gourmand, it's kind of the opposite, where I like their campaign, but I don't like the character. I don't have a spear. There's not a spear in this room. Okay. I probably should have looked for one. That's not... Never fun to realize that you don't have a spear in that area. I'm glad oranges can't climb walls. It should be a lot worse to deal with. I kind of like that they're similar to pink lizards because there's not many creatures that are just normal, right? Every other lizard has some kind of gimmick to them, but orange lizards are just normal. Their gimmick is that they can communicate with each other really well. But like fighting a single orange lizard on its own isn't going to be much different. I kind of like that. That lag spike again, it always messes me up. I feel like there's certain points in rooms where they start loading the next room, maybe. And once I cross that threshold, there's a lag spike. Also, I always try to pick that up. It's not a rock, it's just something in the foreground. I like the campaign because it involves traveling through a bunch of just vanilla regions that I'm already familiar with, and like traveling through. A lot of the new slugheads add some kind of region that I don't like. Like the rock as the rivulet, or Rubicon, or Metropolis. Same with Spearmaster. Spearmaster similar to Gourmand, as in I don't like the character as much as the campaign. Like the campaign would be better with a different slughead, I feel like. Because you have I feel like Rivulet should have gotten the Spearmaster's campaign, right? Because Rivulet kind of makes more sense as a messenger, right? They're way faster, and they can actually hold things on their stomach. Right, so that would actually be a kind of fun campaign, going from like outskirts to Pebbles to Moon to Sky Islands. That's like a decent variety of places to go. As a slughead that's like very mobile, that would be interesting. But I feel like Spearmaster's campaign kind of goes against their abilities. Well, mostly just because of the Pearl. And I don't like that the Rivulet has, or that their campaign goes through a lot of regions with like that are just like a lot different than the normal regions in the game. So I enjoy navigating through the regions that I'm already used to as the Rivulet, and not the ones that are more like confined and where it's more difficult to make use of your movement abilities. Okay, remember to actually go to drainage this time. And I no longer have a mask, but it would just get in the way most of the time. Do I have a lantern? Did I forget to? I think I forgot to make one. Okay, I need to figure out some light source before I... If someone wants to look at Gourmand recipes, crafting recipes, maybe there's some way to craft a lantern with stuff that I can get on the way to drainage. Oh dear. Why does this have to be awful? Go, climb up. I'm dead. Okay, I didn't lose too much. Too much time. Yeah, I need to get a lantern before filtration system. I know that there's some bubble fruit in drainage. There's a flower. I don't know what they're called. One of those like flowers that you can throw as spears. There's one of those. I don't know if you can turn that into a lantern. It's the speedrun I said I'd never do. The speedrun I wish I didn't do, man. Is this guy ever gonna move out of the way? I think I killed that bat fly before I even grabbed it. Excuse me. Wait, hold up. can't I? Is this the, you really have to show up at the worst time. Yeah, okay, I can make a lantern with this. Never seen a Gourmand run before. I haven't either. Which is why this is probably going to be not great. Most of the other speedruns I've done, I've seen some sort of like reference for them. Before I ran Pebbles Percent, I watched a bunch of videos of people doing the run. I've watched some runs of Rivulets and Saints before I did those speedruns. But I've never seen anyone do Gourmand. I mean, I understand why. But you think someone... I mean, people say they like playing Gourmand, right? People do enjoy playing this character. It's not that everyone hates them, right? So surely someone would want to do a speedrun. But I guess now I'm the one doing the speedrun, and I didn't even like the character. Hello. I just kind of thought, you know, maybe playing Gourmand will give me a bit of insight on what it's actually like to do a speedrun. Maybe I could get more like familiar with the controls and actually like enjoy this character. But I've kind of just found out that, yeah, they are as bad as I thought that they were. The speedrun isn't great. I do need food. Really losing time on this split. I mean, yeah, Rain World isn't a popular game. So, of course, there's not going to be too many speedruns of it. But at least, like, within the speedrunning community, someone would have done it at this point. Because there's been a decent amount of runs of, like, Spearmaster, Artificer, Rivulet, Saint. I mean, I've seen runs for all of those. Wow, a whole minute. I have plenty of time in this cycle. But I do like the route. I mean, I would like to do this category as any other slug cat. Because I like going from shaded to pebbles. I like going through drainage. And Outer Expanse, you know, I haven't been able to go through that region that often, so it'd be cool if I could go through it in a speedrun. But unfortunately, that means playing as this character. Gourmand gets away with so much. Also, I got a notification from my own stream. A little bit late for that, you think? I always forget to turn off notifications before a stream, but then I might also forget to turn them back on. Maybe there's some kind of setting to like automatically disable them while streaming, but I haven't found something like that yet. World building in Rain was great. Also the addition of like extra views from like different parts of the timeline from Downpour. It's it's really great. You get to see kind of how this world evolves over time. A lot of games that try to focus on world building, well, maybe not try to focus on world building, but kind of like pretend that they have world building as a focus. They like to put like ancient ruins or like, I don't know, ancient ruins is like the one thing I think of when it comes to world building. Like you get to see like, oh, that's what this place used to be in the past, or this thing over here, there's some like important historical event that happened there. But Rainworld is just like nothing works the same in Rainworld. It's all like completely unique. But it also justifies itself. So pretty much everything in Rainworld you can like connect back to the iterators in some way. Like drainage and filtration, the purpose of these regions is to like prepare and deliver void fluid to the iterators and to the cities on top of the iterators. Garbage waste is a place, it looks the way it does now because of pebbles, right? Dumping a bunch of waste there, obviously, and also the way the rot looks. The fact that Shaded Citadel is shaded because of pebbles and what happens to it later in the timeline, like that all just makes sense, right? That's stuff that you would assume would happen, and it does. I'll also split. So I don't know what's up with this music. Been all spooky. I mean, Rainworld does kind of have that problem with the pearls. Because for whatever reason, that's how they decided to communicate the lore of this game, through pearls. They can only carry like 2 at a time at most. They have to bring all the way to a specific part of the world. So if you actually want to go about figuring out the lore of this game, it takes forever. I don't know why you would do that to yourself. Ooh, hello. So, I mean, I just kind of read all the pearl stuff on the wiki. Although I have collected the pearls, I just didn't bring them to Moon. Nor have I touched any of the new pearls from Downpour. This is the shelter that I decided to stay in. Because I don't think you have enough time. Yeah, that's pretty much how Gourmand works. Same as the other circuits when they are starving. Although it's a little worse for the other slug cats. Because it can kind of interrupt your movements. For Gourmand, it just kind of slows you down for a bit. That might be bad. That centipede. Like when you get tired as Gourmand, you just kind of move a bit slower, and you can't jump in certain situations. But as the other slug cats, you might like get stunned and fall off a cliff on accident. Hello, can we stand up here? I thought that was a red centipede up there. It's just that symbol. Okay, hopefully that lizard isn't a problem in future runs. Also, just hope that you don't get grabbed by the worm grass here. Wow, that platform really blends in with the background. Also, I did not know that there was like kelp here. Although it's not really a problem as long as you have a rock. Although I am tired now. Okay, that's just a... Ooh, that's not just a... Ah! They were already ready. They were prepared. Wait. Mealtime? Did I tire myself out by eating that food? Somehow. Ooh, really bad lag here for some reason. Well, I mean, for some reason, there's always lag in Subterranean for me. I really don't like the idea of having to deal with this worm grass. We're good. Nice one. This poor lizard. I have plenty of time. Kind of slow down a little bit here. I'm just not as familiar with movements in these areas. I haven't practiced it as much. That'd be kind of funny to see like Gourmand like improve their stamina as you play. After like 100 cycles, it's just like you're playing a normal Slug Cat. Also, you can see here, the gate is open, even though I didn't save in a shelter after beating Pebbles. Pretty nice. Also, split. So I know that this can at least be improved by a few minutes, maybe sub 40 outer expanse. This is also where I am not too familiar with the route. Although I believe in going up is better. You avoid having to deal with scavengers. Specifically a scavenger toll. And I don't think there's a good pearl location that doesn't interfere with also getting or holding onto a lantern in your stomach. Actually, it might be a good idea to hold on to one of these. Just because there's so much worm grass in Outer Expanse. Just not having to worry about it. It might be kind of nice. Dude, remember that you have to go up here. There's just a wall if you keep moving to the... Yep. Also, I really don't need to be holding onto the spear. Actually, no, I do need to hold onto the spear, and I can hold onto that. You'll see in a minute, because the specific kind of movement that I have to do. No, I can't jump over that. How do I get over here? Okay, I guess I do need to use the spear here. I mean, that's just kind of how scavengers are sometimes. They don't even notice that you're there, so they don't pick up the pearl that you give them. Can be annoying, but you just have to You just have to really get their attention first. You know, I haven't experimented with bringing a Squidcada along, but they might make some of this movement better. I don't know, using Squidcadas or I have to go down here. Using Squidcadas or Yeeks for movements, I'm not entirely sure if it's ever like faster, like a good option. Also, this whole area, once you get into Outer Expanse, rain is no longer a thing. So technically I could go all the way to the end from here in this cycle without having to stay in a shelter, but I'm not going to do that. But I also don't know if there's a good shelter to go to. I know that there's a shelter right here, so I'm just going to stay in here. Rather not worry about it too much. I guess if you do want to, well, I mean, that doesn't really make sense to take a detour all the way up here for a pearl when you can already use this area to skip the toll. But also, last thing to do here. I know that there's a shelter. I just don't know exactly how far it is. I don't know, I guess I'd rather not risk it. Also, considering that there's a difficult jump, like, right here. Ooh, I would really like a rock right now. Nothing over here. Not a great sign. I did see that. If you saw my most recent, well, recent as in like a few weeks ago, but most recent video I made, you would know that. But also, I'm not entirely sure how many of my viewers in this stream also watch my videos. Okay, it would have sucked if I couldn't make that jump while tired. Oh, sorry about that, man. Oh, sorry about that too. Guess he doesn't mind that much that I just murdered his friend. Dude, you jumped the wrong way. Ooh, my stamina might not. Oh, they're already grabbing a noodle fly. That's good. Someone's not happy about that. Oh, nice pounce. I really don't need to eat food in this area either. I don't like those lizards. Oh, I don't like that. I fell down here. I'm distracted. Okay, that was very risky. But I found out this area is usually pretty calm. Specifically these like few tunnels. Well, fly in a loose sense. Also, I kind of wish carrying a squidcada would improve your stamina a whole lot. I feel like it makes sense since a squidcada carries a lot of your weight, like enough so that you float when you jump. It's not enough for you to fly, especially as Gourmand. But you would think that maybe it would at least improve your stamina a little bit. Okay, this is one of the more dangerous jumps. Not that bad. Most of these areas, it's best to roll. It is a little bit better at covering rough terrain. So yeah, here's that shelter. I don't know if holding down while rolling would activate it. But now, actually, that's not even the first shelter in the region. You have to take the other route to find that. Closer to the scavenger toll. But this path is still very dangerous. There's a few very large centipedes that could get in the way. That's pretty much the last dangerous thing. Oh, I thought the centipede grabbed onto, or I grabbed onto it. Sometimes I know how to speak. And leeches can be a little bit of a problem. They can slow you down a bit. They're a bit hard to remove. Can I not grab onto this? I think I'm gonna try using a yeek for this section. Oops. You can't do a charge pounce. But yeah, maybe this will help getting past the centipedes. Being able to jump higher. And also across the water. Oh, I didn't even realize that was a centipede. Yeah, you two deal with each other. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. It's always nice to get a reminder of how good the music is in this area. All of the Outer Expanse tracks. That's a lizard. That was risky. In fact, I dropped the eek. Also, that like awfully placed swarm grass. Right on the screen transition where you'd want to stand. Also, I think I've crossed the... No, I have not. Centipede is still dangerous. Just this one centipede is the last dangerous thing in the whole run. And I think a dropwig too, maybe? Sorry about that. Okay, they're just gonna camp me out. I like it if it just grabbed onto me. Instead of doing this weird thing. But I don't have anything to throw. Oh, there's a spear. It might be dead after just that. Yeah, I think I killed it. I'm still covered in... Hello? Where am I? Is this a dead end? What is going on? Okay, I just got stuck for some reason. Also, I think actually, hold up. Do I need to go down here? Actually, I think I do. Yeah, this is the right way. Always nice to see Yeeks just getting some food. Kind of funny to think that Yeeks were like probably one of the creatures that Slugcats are most familiar with. One of the creatures that's new to Downpour. That, of course, we aren't familiar with, but Slugcats have been living with them for a long time. If they've been around this tree in Journey's End for a while. So I know that you could do something with a grenade here. That's fast. Like, if you launch yourself to the grenade, it might kill you, but it still starts the ending sequence. That'd be kind of funny, but I don't think I can make a grenade easily. That would save time. The timer has stopped. I will end this timer once the cutscene starts. Also, I got tired out in the cutscene. That's wonderful. Time loss. Nah, it doesn't really matter. It's been a while since I've gotten this ending, though. Yeah, I wish Yeeks showed up in farm areas, so that you can always use them to cross the worm grass instead of deer. Alright, that's the run. 2 deaths. Not great. What were those deaths? Were they to the... like around outskirts? Well, it was still... sub-hour. That's pretty good, I'd say. It's nice to have a category that's not like 2 hours long. Like a lot of some of the other campaigns take quite a long time. So this one's on the shorter side. I have a feeling that Artificer's campaign or speedrun is going to be faster than this if you get good RNG. And this could be improved. The 38 time doesn't count deaths and it doesn't count the time that I spent going to 5 pebbles. Because I exited out. It didn't count that whole cycle. But yeah, that's the run. Not optimal. I think I'm gonna try to do a run, maybe off stream. I'll try to do a run without any deaths at all. Although I don't even know if I want to touch Gourmand anymore. But it'd be kind of disappointing to have like my Gourmand run with a few major deaths in it. Probably make this whole thing a lot faster. That's always the case in speedrunning. But the first few attempts are gonna have a much greater improvement than like the 100th attempt, where you're just like saving a few seconds. Is that a world record? Probably not. Someone has to have done a Gourmand run, right? I'm still gonna submit it, and if no one submits it, then it is a world record. If no one else submits a run, but I think a lot of runs have been submitted. They're just not they've not been like checked, not been approved. So maybe someone has done a faster Gourmand run that hasn't been approved yet, and that's why I haven't seen it. Anyway, that's the end of the stream. I'm not gonna do another attempt. Wow, the Outer Expanse gates. I already unlocked that. Another save file. There we go. That's the final time. 36 minutes. 38 real time. Thanks everyone for watching. I probably won't play Gourmand again for another month at least. If someone wants to make a mod similar to the Saint mod that I played last time for Gourmand that makes them overpowered, I'd love to play it. Cause just regular old Gourmand be a little frustrating sometimes. Anyway, see ya.